This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Good evening, I'm Mark Mullins, and thanks for watching RTV6 News at 7. Tonight, RTV6 is getting answers for an East Side neighborhood dealing with an issue familiar to homeowners across Indianapolis. Scott Harvey says his neighborhood on Tuxedo Street has gone downhill ever since people living next door moved out. Their now abandoned home is owned by the city, and Harvey says nothing is being done to maintain it. The yard is overgrown, filled with trash, and parts of the home are falling apart. Donna George says she's noticed animals like groundhogs moving into the home. RTV6 found official complaints about the house dating back to 2011. Each case was inspected and then closed.
It's a disgrace to the East Side. It's a disgrace to this street. These houses here have been revitalized, and we have this next to us. Nobody else has to live next to it but us. It's, I'm tired.
We reached out to Renew Indianapolis, the city's land bank, which says the house is in the process of being sold to someone who wants to fix it up. But neighbors are skeptical that will happen. Renew Indianapolis says the buyers will have 2 years to rehab the home.
City, they'll send somebody out here maybe once or twice a year, and they'll bring these people in, and they'll tell us that, well, somebody's going to buy it and redo it. And I said, that's crazy, Nobody, the whole inside of the house was tore completely out. There's nothing inside it.
And by the way, Renew Indianapolis works to reduce blight across the city. If you have a problem and feel like you have nowhere else to turn, you can contact us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. Now let's give you a look at this beautiful sunset over downtown Indy from our tower cam out there tonight. As you notice, the sun is setting a little bit earlier. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory has your evening forecast.
That's worth staring at, isn't it? Looks beautiful. That's part of the recipe for frost overnight into the morning hours. Skies will be clear. The wind will continue to calm down. Temperatures right now low to mid 50s in the metro area. As we look statewide, 50 degrees in Gary, coolest right now Fort Wayne at 49. Everybody else kind of tucked in between. Our weather headlines: the frost advisory headlines the forecast. After about 2 a.m. is when it will be the coldest, with the temperatures falling into the mid 30s, and you can see all of central Indiana, basically the entire state, with the frost potential, and it is likely. Temperatures as we go through the evening hours fall off to 47 by 10 o'clock. This is the way you start your Friday. Keep in mind, these are the coldest temperatures you'll find in the 7-day planner. We'll unveil a temperature turnaround in the 7-day forecast.
Tonight, a Morgan County family is mourning the death of a 2-year-old boy after a horrific accident involving a gun. The sheriff's office says Anthony Jones was hit by a bullet and killed inside a home on North Kitchen Road early this morning. Investigators say the boy is from Indianapolis, but he and his mother were house sitting for relatives in Morgan County. They say the boy's mother told them that she was in the bathroom when she heard a gunshot. She says he found an unsecured gun which accidentally went off, killing the boy. The Morgan County Sheriff's Office is investigating tonight. An autopsy will be performed tomorrow. Unfortunately, this case in Morgan County is not an isolated incident. Since 2016, this is at least the 3rd Central Indiana child who was killed because of an unsecured gun. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum is working for you, getting answers from local leaders about what can be done to make sure this doesn't happen again.
From the sheriff's office to the state house, work is being done to prevent accidental shootings and keep kids safe. The Marion County Sheriff provides free gun locks to the public, giving out about 500 each year. Some lawmakers say they think those locks should be required. Senator J.D. Ford tells us he's tried to introduce legislation around gun safety, but so far it hasn't gone anywhere. He's asking members of the public to call their elected officials.
It's just a very basic, fundamental view on the legislation is just requiring gun owners to lock it up, and if they don't, perhaps there might be a penalty for that. But at least let's have a conversation on it.
In the meantime, the sheriff says taking advantage of the free gun lock program is an easy way to keep your family safe.
What we don't know is how many lives that may have been saved. Did somebody pick up that gun and couldn't fire it because they had it that way? Yeah, you can't be shot with a gun that's been unloaded or locked.
For more information on where you can get a gun lock for free, head to our website. Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
In response to this story, the Marion County Sheriff will also be handing out free gun locks tomorrow at the Pike Township Fall Festival. That runs from 3:30 to 7:30 at the Government Center on Lafayette Road. Tough testimony today in a Fulton County courtroom as jurors hear the case of 3 children hit and killed while getting on their school bus last year. The trial of Alyssa Shepard will continue tomorrow. Today, much of the focus was on the autopsies of the children. Their causes of death were ruled accidental blunt force trauma. Shepard is accused of hitting 2 twin boys and their older sister with her pickup truck. She faces 21 years in prison if convicted. The case could be turned over to the jury as soon as tomorrow. Visitation wraps up in less than an hour for an Indiana State Police trooper killed in the line of duty. Peter Stephen died in a crash while responding to a call last Friday. His funeral will be held tomorrow at Crossroads Community Church in Kokomo. Members of the law enforcement community have been paying their respects to Stephen throughout the day, and that includes troopers from out-of-state agencies like the Minnesota State Patrol.
It's very important to us. We got from the upper management, we have all the support to come down to different events involving the death of a trooper, which is very tragic to the families. But it is something that we take very seriously because we have a motto that says the best we can do is the least we can do for the family. So at least you're showing up, showing our respect. It means a lot to the families.
Trooper Stephen leaves behind a wife and a baby girl. A tentative agreement has been reached between United Auto Workers and General Motors, but the ongoing strike will continue while all union members vote to ratify the agreement. The agreement includes a shorter path to permanent status for temporary workers and a ratification bonus for employees. If the deal is ratified, General Motors will get rid of the cap on profit sharing, so all of the company's earnings will be shared with workers with no limits. The 4-year deal also includes pay raises. Meanwhile, in Chicago, the country's 3rd largest teachers union is in the country going on strike. The Chicago Teachers Union and the city have been trying to reach a contract agreement for 10 months. The union rejected the city's latest offer last night and voted to strike today. They're at odds over class sizes, health care costs, and the need for more staff like librarians and nurses. The city closed schools today, leaving about 300,000 students without class. Negotiations are ongoing. Major developments in the Middle East tonight. The Trump administration announced this afternoon a ceasefire agreement with Turkey, stopping its military action in northern Syria. Vice President Mike Pence, a part of the negotiations in Turkey, says Kurdish forces will withdraw from the so-called safe zone. Turkey has been bombing the area since President Trump ordered the withdrawal of U.S. troops from northern Syria. Nadia Romero explains what we know about the talks between the U.S. and Turkey today.
Cameras were not allowed inside during the majority of the U.S.-Turkey ceasefire negotiations. But right after the hours-long meeting between Turkey and the U.S., Vice President Pence spoke to reporters claiming victory.
Turkey and the United States of America have agreed to a ceasefire in Syria. It will be a pause in military operations for 120 hours while the United States facilitates the withdrawal of YPG from the affected areas in the safe zone. And once that is completed, Turkey has agreed to a permanent ceasefire.
President Trump touting the deal after landing in Texas for a fundraiser and campaign rally.
This is an amazing outcome.
Vice President Pence says U.S. sanctions placed on Turkey last week will be lifted once the ceasefire becomes permanent. That could happen after Kurdish-led forces leave the safe zone.
I know it's already underway as we speak.
Turkish officials telling CNN they got exactly what they wanted out of the meeting. But later, Turkey's foreign minister saying in a press conference, quote, "This is not a ceasefire." Before the deal was announced, the House approved a resolution opposing President Trump's decision to remove U.S. troops from Syria. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi saying it could lead to a possible resurgence of ISIS.
Calls for the president to show a clear plan for how Americans will be protected from ISIS.
In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero reporting.
Well, fundraising is underway for one of the biggest Thanksgiving meals across the Midwest. Today, the Moselle Sanders Foundation hosted its annual Give Back Luncheon. It's one of several funding efforts ahead of Thanksgiving. This will be the 48th year of the annual holiday dinner. The foundation expects to serve tens of thousands of people in need.
we hope to still serve around 40,000 people, and that includes serving 15,000 pounds of turkey, 10,000 pounds of dressing, 10,000 pounds of apple crisp, 1,200 gallons of gravy, and 80,000 dinner rolls.
Well, this year, for the first time, the foundation hosted luncheons at 2 locations, Michael's Soul Kitchen in downtown Indianapolis and Outback Steakhouse in Castleton. There will be many more fundraisers for the Thanksgiving dinner leading up to the big day. Still ahead here on the news at 7, fewer kids are getting vaccinated because their parents are asking for exemptions from the rules. Plus, inspectors are testing out haunted houses across central Indiana, what they're looking for to keep you and your family safe.
It's Washington Square Mall at 6 a.m.
Welcome back to RTV6 News at 7. It's officially spooky season. Haunted houses are popping up across central Indiana, and officials want to make sure these creepy attractions are focused on safety along with the scares. Today, the Indiana Department of Homeland Security showed us how they inspect haunted houses. Every year, state building inspectors conduct walkthroughs to make sure the attractions are complying with Indiana's fire safety and building codes. They check out things like smoke detectors, sprinklers, emergency exits, the house's evacuation plan, and whether employees are properly trained on the safety measures.
I mean, the whole purpose of this is to just to scare people, and you know, people want to make sure that when they're going in anywhere, whether it be a restaurant or wherever it may be, that they're safe. And so it makes it even more, you know, more important because they're going to be in the dark, and you want to make sure that, so people are kind of apprehensive.
The state's fire marshal's office tells us they do their inspections with the lights on so they don't get the full spooky effects of the haunted houses. You can see for yourself whether a haunted house has been inspected by state officials. We do have a link on our website at theindychannel.com.
A moment of silence will not be enough to respect the life of Elijah Cummings. What will be enough is if we follow his example for a lifetime.
Emotional words on Capitol Hill today before a moment of silence for Representative Elijah Cummings. The congressman from Maryland passed away overnight in Baltimore. According to his office, he suffered from long-standing health challenges. ABC's Elizabeth Hur explains the legacy Cummings leaves behind.
Maryland Congressman Elijah Cummings, first elected to the House in 1996, most recently served as the chairman of the House Oversight Committee. The outspoken Democrat and renowned civil rights leader played a key role in multiple investigations involving President Trump's administration, including his impeachment probe. Cummings, a lifelong resident of Baltimore City, dedicated his life to public service and fiercely defended his hometown when President Trump blasted Baltimore in July, calling it a disgusting rat and rodent-infested mess. That same month, Cummings did not mince words, responding to Trump's attacks on 4 minority congresswomen.
Do you believe President Trump is a racist?
I believe he is, yes, no doubt about it. And I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Back in 2017, Cummings underwent an aortic valve replacement.
Well, I'm here at Johns Hopkins Hospital. I had to get a tune-up.
Then this September, he had an unspecified medical procedure. His last roll call vote on Capitol Hill was more than a month ago. He is survived by his wife and 3 children. Elizabeth Hur, ABC News, New York.
Elijah Cummings was 68 years old. He had been in office since 1996. Maryland's mayor has 10 days to announce a special primary to elect someone to take over his seat. Coming up, a shocking study about baby food and the toxins you might be feeding to your kids. The alternatives that experts say you should switch to keep your baby safe.
I love this time of the evening. We go from sunset to city lights. Temperatures are cold tonight, but what are the changes ahead for the weekend? We'll talk about that coming up.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
A surprising study out tonight about baby food. When you feed your child, you may also be serving up mega doses of lead, arsenic, and mercury. A new investigative study found these toxic chemicals, heavy metals, in many of the foods produced and marketed for babies. 168 baby foods from major manufacturers were tested, and 95% contained lead, 73% contained arsenic, 75% contained cadmium, and 32% contained mercury. Even in trace amounts, those chemicals are linked to impaired brain development in children. The worst offenders were baby foods made with rice, sweet potatoes, and fruit juices. The negative brain impacts of these chemicals worsen with repeated exposure. Physicians suggest pureed vegetables, salmon, peanut butter, oatmeal, and avocado as safe baby foods. More parents and guardians in the U.S. are getting vaccine exemptions for their kids. The CDC says there has been a small increase in vaccine exemption rates among kindergartners. The CDC's findings show that rates of young children not receiving vaccinations against certain diseases, including measles, has steadily gone up in recent years. For the 2018-2019 school year, the national percentage of kindergartners with an exemption from one or more required vaccines was 2.5%. That is a slight increase from 2.3% during the previous school year. The same technology used to send out Amber Alerts could save even more lives in California. They're the first state to launch a statewide earthquake alert system. It can warn residents when a quake is about to hit, hopefully giving them more time to get to safety. When underground sensors detect movement, it will trigger warning messages to people nearby. The warnings will be delivered using the Amber Alert system and through an app called My Shake. The app is in testing right now. It passed with flying colors during 2 Bay Area quakes this week. Time now for your Storm Team 6 forecast. We're enjoying a beautiful Thursday, and the sunset has been amazing.
And then it's frosty time as we go through the... So I don't know what time. We work the late news, so we're usually not up probably by 8 a.m. I don't want to speak for you, but if you want to see the frost, get up by 8 a.m.
There you go. It's
After
early,
8 a.m., I think that it's probably gone. 62 will be the magic number tomorrow afternoon. That's after starting in the mid-30s. Saturday, we make some progress. Sunday, temperatures peak in the lower 70s. That is your sustained, noticeable kind of warming trend, and it'll change the way you dress. You can wear some shorts again by the end of the weekend. Low pressure Monday sits to the northwest. Strong cold front. The ingredients are there for some strong thunderstorms, severe weather potential. It's a matter of how they come together, the timing of the cold front, any ongoing thunderstorms to the west. So we'll wait and see on that. I just point this out that our thunderstorm chances will increase as we get back to work on Monday. Much needed rainfall, a part of the formula, and the wind, even independent of any thunderstorms, will be strong. A strong south wind bringing in the warmer temperatures. You wouldn't describe this as warm. Temperatures right now below average in the low 50s, 49 in Crawfordsville, compared to yesterday when we had the wind with temperatures this cool. Quite a different day today, not as windy. There are the city lights starting to come up. You're looking at Washington Street, and there's the walking bridge over to the White River Gardens and the Indianapolis Zoo. Washington Street down here, 35. That spins its way down tomorrow morning. I think 2 a.m. to about 8 a.m., right around sunrise, will be the coldest stretch. Temperatures will recover from there. Sunshine helps everything. By noon, 52 degrees. The wind out of the southeast will be light, but we're changing the wind direction. It's been west-northwest, starts southeast during the day tomorrow, comes back to south after that, and that will help boost these not only overnight lows, but afternoon highs. Tomorrow, still below average. Call it pleasant. The humidity is low, lots of sunshine around, maybe some mid to high level clouds. Temperature in the metro area at 62 degrees. A good night for Friday night football. Last week we had the showers around and falling temperatures during the game, turning much colder. It will be in the 50s during the games this week and dry. Saturday, 69, we're warmer. Second half of the weekend, 72. Chance for any Saturday showers very low at this point. Temperatures a little higher, closer to 70 for the afternoon high. You can see Bloomington and Columbus at 71. Sunday, the warmer of the 2 days, consistently in the lower 70s. Thunderstorms on Monday will mark a transition to much cooler air once again. Tuesday's high 58, but within the 7-day forecast, there are no mornings as cool as tomorrow morning. We'll be at 35 degrees, maybe a couple 34s in there. You'll have some frost if you're trying to protect some, let's say, I don't know, my flowers. But if you want to protect some of them, put a blanket over it, and then don't forget to uncover them later.
That's right.
I wanted to say geraniums. That's what I was trying to come up with.
Geraniums, tulips, mums.
Mums are hardy.
All right. Getting to space is getting a little bit more fashionable, did you know? Virgin Galactic is showing off their new spacesuits. Look at that. Travelers will get one of these fancy outfits when they book their $250,000 ride on Virgin's newest spaceship. Virgin partnered with Under Armour to create the suits, which are designed for more comfort than completing space tasks. The gear and the spaceship are in testing phases right now. Look at that. It's on the horizon. It's coming. A live look outside showing the White River there. You're watching RTV6 News at 7. We're back with you right after this. Soon, a downtown Indianapolis post office could bear the name of a legendary Indiana politician. Both houses of Congress have approved naming the post office a few blocks north of Monument Circle after former United States Senator Richard Lugar. The United States House just endorsed the proposal in a unanimous voice vote yesterday after the Senate approved it in July. All 9 members of Indiana's House and both senators joined together to back the legislation to name the post office after Lugar. He served as the mayor of Indianapolis before spending 36 years in the Senate. Lugar died in April at the age of 87.
What an honor.
What an honor there.
Beautiful evening. Temperatures fall off into the 30s. I want you to see this. Check out Oliver. He is studying the forecast to see if he really wants to go for a walk.
Right. Let me take my glasses off and see if we're going to do this.
Temperatures in the low 50s now, 44 at 11. The cat usually hides his glasses and he has to go looking all over.
Sports them. Good to have you here for RTV6 News at 7. We'll see you back here tonight at 11. Have a good evening.